Hey guys, we're still gonna review season 7, 8, 9, and 10, but I decided to add something extra for y'all viewers that didn't watch some extra episodes. So, from in this review and my next review, I'm going to have the favorite episodes from whatever seasons and the least favorite. This episode is going to have all the favorites. So throughout the video, I'm going to say some favorites and least favorites for the series. Anyways, if you want to skip to any parts that new and not me just looking at some episodes that the fans like that I don't like or I like that the fans like, whatever, it's in the description. Anyways, enjoy the video. Now, usually, my friends, I usually think videos that I like the most, but it's some iconic episodes that no one uh, probably everyone wanted me to tell, but the comments were off. So I already could say the most popular ones from each season. I will have two for each episode, starting with Help Wanted. I found this picture of an animatic and the actual footage, but recently people have been more and more nostalgic for this episode for being the first ever episode and basically being set up for all the characters. The animation was the most sloppiest, but the most nostalgic, and everyone liked this. It introduced a lot of characters, and people just really nostalgic for this episode because, well, it's the first episode. It had really great storytelling, and it just introduced a lot of the series in just 8 minutes. Yeah, as if it was 8 minutes. But I personally think this is also a really good episode and very iconic. So in this one, I will definitely agree with the fans. Next, we got Pizza Delivery, which is a very iconic episode, and people be giving it 10 out of 10s, 11 out of 10s, 12 out of 10s. It is very iconic, but it is a little boring to me. So I don't know what to say about it, but it does somehow gives a really good message that I don't understand. That only adults understand. That little teens don't. Little teens that, and when they reach quarter life, they will understand. But I don't understand, cause I'm a little teen. But uh, this episode is pretty good, so I will really semi agree with the fans on this one. So, semi agree. So, I guess it's on with season 2.
Boyos, me boyos. I have something I need to show you.
2 iconic episodes! Starting off with Span Geeks. I really love this episode, even though Schoolgirl did not deserve to have this ability and this reward. I think a season 3 episode that I'm not going to touch on in this video did it way better with the conclusion and the ending. But this episode's really good. I like this song, but I don't think they made it. But you never know. I like how SpongeBob was actually pretty nice. I like Skullgirl's funny. I do not like Mayonnaise. It's instrument joke that much because how much people milk it, but I still like it. Just don't milk it. There's lots of jokes in this episode I really like. Squidward being Squidward because Mr. Krabs wants free food. They did not get the free food. And overall, I mostly agree. So, you're probably wondering why I keep saying this different results. I will start talking about what I agree, blah blah blah, sooner after the next segment. Hasslating, the slashslating, the passlating, the cashlingling, the claplingling, the packlingling, the clashlingling, the slashlingling, the packlingling, the cocklingling, the packlingling, the hashlingling slash really great episode. This is a very iconic episode, and I really agree with the fans of how iconic this episode is. I really like Squidward's joke, the Nosferatu joke that I think he came back in season 13 and 14. Uh, Ashley Slash should just be the guy who wants to go to work. The call being from the guy. The flickering lights. the slime, the ooze, because the place is literally terrible. I really like stuff like that. If I didn't get to see your episode, it's alright. I might bring it back for the 12, I mean the 13 to 15 review, but who knows? Anyways, we gotta go on and get to review to season 7. I approve the fans really liking this episode, and let's get right on. First episode we have here is Krusty Dogs. That's the episode name, I believe. This is the episode where SpongeBob accidentally makes Krusty Dogs with uh leftover Krabby Patties. Mr. Krabs like, hey, that's a good idea. Replaces everything with Krabby Patties. I mean Krusty Dogs. SpongeBob's like, oh wait, but what about Krabby Patties? After a long episode of SpongeBob trying his best, he finally did it. And now they're back to Krabby Patties. This is what I do have a little bit of problems with the episode, but overall, it's pretty decent. Pretty good, actually. In fact, I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Usually I go in order, of some type of order, like first episodes and then bad episodes. But right here, I'm kind of making fun for y'all and unpredictable, so it could be any episode that's coming next. It could be a bad one, good one, the worst one of the season, for all I care. But right now, we're starting with pretty decent to pretty good. So far the season's going well. Next episode we have here is Squidward and Clarinet Land, which was even better than the last episode, the Krusty Dog episode, which was Squidward being trapped in Clarinet Land, trying to find his way out. I really personally like this episode. Even though most people said this is one like the only good episodes in this season, I digress. But wait, is that what means? Whatever. I will change it when I'm editing. This video is really good. This episode is really good. It just shows how Squidward torture can be without being tortured. Because this is mostly his own mind and what he would think SpongeBob would probably do, what he thinks SpongeBob would put stuff at, and this is basically what he also think his clarinet would be if it was in SpongeBob's hands in a locker. I just like the wackiness of it. Everything is being well. Squidward's not being beat up, put in a hand face, being his neck broken. It's mostly in his head this time, like that episode I think from season 2 or 3 about Squidward being all trapped in his thoughts. We all be there, Squidward. We all be there. Next we have SpongeBob's Last Stand, which was a mediocre-ish episode. At first, I was going to give it a 5, but the more I watch it, the more little tiny qualities I see in the episode that made it more than just a little mid episode. It's a mid-ish episode. Here's what I was about to say. So here's what I was about to say about the mid episode. I was about to say the first half of the episode is boring, and the second half of the episode it's actually pretty good. But until I looked at it, there's still stuff that I really like about the stuff about how everything gets trapped with roads, and even if you try to stop it, even if you tried, you most likely wouldn't. And that's the sad part of it that I really like, that they showed in this episode from the start. And how most people would be like SpongeBob at first, until it's too late and no one would believe them. I wonder what that is all about. It's not only about roads, it can be about anything, including pollution. Just think. Anyways, sorry about that. That's why it gives it an extra 0.9 about that realism. And I was actually supposed to give it a 5.5 after that until I realized the ending scene was actually really good, showing everyone's emotion. And then I was supposed to give it a 6 until the ending was when it was just plankton, and I just gave it, and then it was like a point because of that. I was a little disappointed. That sinking feeling. This episode is where SpongeBob and Patrick were digging down a hole until All of a sudden, Squidward house fell down! And that when the episode actually started to get good. So, Squidward is like, I'm gonna count down from 1 to 3. And SpongeBob and Patrick was acting completely normal like the season 1 itself when this happened. SpongeBob wasn't crying or overly scared or literally bawling out in tears or just overly happy oblivious. Patrick wasn't like, oh, okay. And then just copied SpongeBob. They were like, oh my gosh, we had to figure out, we gotta get this done. And then, all of a sudden, so we were counting to 3, and he just started chasing them like crazy. And SpongeBob and Patrick had to run away. And if you're wondering why I'm not showing this, it's because copyright reasons. Because somehow I can't just take a picture and then show it to y'all. So, well, I can't take a picture of a video or anything and show it to y'all. So this is what I had to do. And basically, he just started chasing them, and every single building in the Bikini Bottom just fell down into the sinkhole because the way they were digging made it just enough to fit every single building down. But after that, there's this one joke at the end that I really liked, like really liked. It was when Plankton was like, "Ha! I knew it! Finally, the Krusty Krab is gone!" And then his chug bucket fell. It was a really good joke. I really like this part of the episode. If it wasn't for that, this season would probably episode would probably have 4 or maybe 4.5 or 5. But without that, it added an extra 1.5 points. So they should be really proud of themselves. Christopher Bikini Bottom. What happens in this episode, I'm just wow. I'm amazed by in the worst way, in the baddest way impossible. Anyways, wow. Okay. So, first, SpongeBob decides that he wants to use this, I think it's like garden thing. I never use it, but then he tries to use it. Then somehow, from using that, he skips Squidward, busts through his fence or went over it, I forgot, and it went to the graveyard, somehow goes to exactly where the fried Dutchman is, and then shaved off his beard. From doing that, he had a date. So he had a date, and that he was just mad about it because it was his beard that he had for years, maybe even millions of years. So he turned them to ghosts. Don't ask the specifics of why, like fully why and how that sequence went, but all you gotta know is that they turned into ghosts. After that, they first try to scare people. They really like it. And then, after trying to scare Squidward and blah blah blah, they went to try to do their normal things. But since they're ghosts, they can't even do their normal things. So, they're like, we can't do anything, Patrick. And Patrick was like, SpongeBob, we can't do anything. So they went back to the Flying Dutchman. And the Flying Dutchman was like, if you could, I think he was like, if you could put my beard back, I have a date. And if you can do it, I'll turn you back to normal. And then after trial and error, SpongeBob decides to just be his beard. And uh, a few months later, I think I turned back by the way. He even after all of that, he didn't even want to be with the girl because the girl is literally insane from what he says. So now that I said it, now you're probably wondering why is this so mid? The whole entire middle is kind of boring, actually, to be honest. Like, the animation is always good, what gives it points. The plot is pretty good because get turned into a ghost. Plankton got turned into a ghost, which was an episode better than this. I don't know if I'm going to talk about the episode when I get a chance, but it was definitely a better episode than whatever this is. And now that I look at the episode was eh. Like I don't really like the episode really that much. But the ending and the beginning was really pretty good. So that gives it a few points. It was already at a 2 from the animation and a 3 from the beginning and the end. So that's why it's a 5. But the middle just drags it down a bunch. But that's why it's the first mid episode in season 7. Maybe not even the last one. Hey, you're probably wondering, Sean, you just did 5 episodes. Why are you not in the next season yet? Well, I realized that there's so much bad and good episodes that I missed. So from now on, I'm going to do more than like 6 to 10 episodes, and nothing, no more, no less. Because if I do more, this video would be 2 hours long for each one. So for each season. So, and who wants a 6-hour episode? Not me. So here we go. Well, SpongeBob Mr. Krabs realized that you can use Gary for money. Wow. Ooh la la. Ooh la la. There's a couple things I really don't like about this episode, but there's it's pretty funny and stuff. And here's one thing I really like, and I am going to give credit to the creator.
Don't you have work you should be doing?
Oh, that's rich.
No, if I was rich, I wouldn't have to hire the likes of you.
That's hurtful, Mr. Krabs, and you know it.
Why, you little yellow... Well, I never...
You never what? Learn to use decent language?
But the only one I think that scene was funny, I am. Well, who cares? Next episode we have here is the inside job, where Plankton tries to steal the secret formula from SpongeBob. Look at his eyeballs, look at his brain, until he turns into SpongeBob, and then he just happy and stuff, and he feels joy, and then he turns into Patrick. Then he gets flamed back, and then he turns back to his normal self after. But wow, I actually really like this episode. I like to see what's. I don't know. Lots of people did not like that episode where they went inside Squidward's brain in season 4, but this episode is actually really good. It's actually the same as season 4, even though it's 3 seasons later. They still have really good ideas for a season that people say is the worst. Like the worst of the worst, like F tier, like barely any good episodes. I I see, but I know it's opinion based, but F tier is where basically there's only like 1 or 2 good episodes. Maybe even the 1 to 2 good episodes are just decent. But that's not what the season really is, if you get what I mean. I would have been on with them, because I used to just believe everything. But now, as I watch the season and try to like look at it, my experience changed. And I wasn't dreading when I was making this video. As we speak, I wasn't dreading making this video. Why? Why does this episode exist? Someone's in the kitchen episode is mid, 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 mid. Yes, I know. I did miss a lot of episodes in this review, but I know basically 80% of the episodes of these episodes. And I know I missed a lot of good ones and a lot of mid ones and a lot of bad ones in this video. But if you really want to see a big review of a video, just please watch someone else. I'm not the channel who posts every video. But if you're still here, now it's time to have the tier list. Alright guys, now we're gonna do season 7. Well, if you, I used to just, in the first episode of this series, I used to just do whatever, but now I'm just gonna do it by season review. Anyways, season 7. I would put season 7 in A tier. Not mid, actually. If you're wondering what base means, it's just how what most people from the golden era thinks the season should be. Anything below it is what below average, and yeah, and yes, there will be a season in F in F minus tier. Well, I don't know about F minus, but definitely there's gonna be a season in F tier. Before we start on that, we have to literally just look at other season 3 and 4 nostalgic episodes. Chocolate with nuts. Chocolate with nuts. Chocolate with nuts. Chocolate with nuts. Approved! So, you're probably wondering, why do I keep saying different stuff for each one? Well, I'm secretly seeing if I approve of these episodes being that consciously iconic. I have don't approve, semi don't approve, semi approve, mostly approve, and approve. So, if you ever wonder why I keep saying different stuff, now you know. Well, now we have the camping episode. This episode is a classic, and even though everyone said it's like the best episode in SpongeBob ever, I really like the camping song. I don't. I really like the seatbelt gag. It's pretty iconic. There's only a couple parts that I really don't agree with, like how Scooper being tortured. It's a well, it's fine, I guess. But I'm not really into episodes where Squidward doesn't listen to SpongeBob. When it literally came true 10,000 times, he literally learned his lesson 10,000 times. But SpongeBob made it better from not literally just being like or Patrick being like which Patrick was more like than Patrick. So this is mostly approved. With season 4, we have Dungeons and Dragons. People really, really, really like this episode. And I actually see it because this is one of the episodes I used to watch when I was younger. And, well, younger. Like when I was 3. And it was really good. Back when they used to actually post season 2 and 3 and maybe even a little bit of season 1 content. It was really good. And I really like it because they also put this. I remember when I first saw this episode, not when it first came out, but when I first saw the episode, and it was really good, and I really liked it. I aired it because we had cable back then, and it was pretty cool, and I really liked it. So this is a stamp of approval, and it's approved, not because I'm biased or anything. Who would say that? A squared plus b squared equals c squared, which equals approved. Now this is a season. It's definitely a season, alright. Most of the good stuff that I'm about to say is actually probably in the beginning and at the late middle at the end. So even though I might seem mostly positive in this review, that's that I might give a little low score for the actual season review. No, spoiler alert, it's not gonna be a D or F. Wait, no, it's not gonna be a D or F minus. Next episode we have here is Planet of the Jellyfish. I'm surprised that this episode is actually the first 9 out of 10. It's actually crazy. But I just said that officially this is the first this is the first episode on our list, Planet of the Jellyfish, and this is the first 9 out of 10 episode. I really like the horror, the story, the characters, how they act. It just comes together really well. And surprisingly, there's no 10 out of 10 episodes even in the modern era. So, I mean the classic. So don't expect anything higher than a 9.9. Literally, nothing is perfect. There's always some nicks and nucks in there that can make it better. Anyways, enjoy the music. That's totally probably not even copyrighted. Alright, next episode we have here is Chum for Seek, Chum for Sock, Chum for Geek, Chum for Cock. I really like this episode. This is an episode where Squidward's just like, I don't want to work at the chum bucket. I don't want to work at the chum bucket anymore. So he decides to just work. I don't want to work at the Krusty Krab anymore. He decides to work at the chum bucket and gives his mother's recipe. And I really actually like this episode. Most people don't even know this episode actually exists, even though it has like a billion people watch it. But who cares? Who cares? Um, more as the episodes come out in more countries, that's when more people will start watching it and more. But right now we have kind of little people watching it. I personally really like your episode, and if you want to see what it's like for Squidward to work in the chum bucket, then this is the episode for you. Even though I gotta tell you a secret, there's a trend where Plankton gets really close to his plans in post-movie era, and then never ever does them. So I'm kind of worried. Anyways, good episode. Really like it. I believe that you guys should watch it if you like Squidward in general, since somehow he's the most relatable character. Next we have it's a SpongeBob Christmas. This is mostly a pretty good episode. I really like how I think it was Plankton give them treats. They all became evil and hate Christmas. Until the end when SpongeBob saved them. It was really good. I really liked the idea. I really liked the animation. I really liked the voice acting. The only thing that's bringing it down is how they acted when they were evil. But it's alright. Because they were evil in the first place. So that's not going to give it too much points. It only made it lose 1.9 points. But anyways, really good episode. I said really good episode. Anyways, on with the next episode. Okay, next we have the drive-through. I think this episode is amazing. Like amazing. I really, 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 really like this episode. And I really like this episode a lot. And I know I keep saying good episodes, but you'll see my rating how there's still a couple like half mediocre episodes in there, so that I want to not address, but just like talk about. But this episode is really good. I really like it. If this is like really good. I actually really, really, really like it. Next episode we have here is Hello Bikini Bottom. I would have given this episode a 9.9 if it wasn't for Mr. Krabs ruining everything. First off, SpongeBob and Squidward was getting along. They're about to make millions. They're about to be in the band, and then Mr. Krabs ruined it. In fact, this was a perfect season finale episode to wrap up the season. I really liked this episode, but it could have done even a way better. That maybe got 9.9 if Mr. Krabs didn't ruin it for them at the end, instead of being like supportive of them at least a little, because you already got enough money. You got even greedier, Mr. Krabs, and this really shows in this season. But who cares? Whatever. It's a really good episode. We have one more episode that I want to review before we put it on a tier. First episode that is below 7, but barely. Um, it's Spongenick. So it's Sonic. So it's Samia, but it's Sponge so it's Sponge. You get the joke. Um, well, pun. I kind of really like this episode. I like diving into Sponge's mind because he needs help with Patrick. I would say more about this episode, but we're starting to run out of time for this season. You're probably wondering, what does that mean? Well, I still want to at least be at the 32-minute mark by the time I review, but I'll try my best. This episode is really wacky because it's like Fear of the Krabby Patty, but without the Krabby Patty part or the really not really that much fear. But still really like the episode. There's a little points off, but I would say more, but I don't want to go too in depth because after I go too in depth, then you're gonna be hear me talk about this episode way too much. So my video recording randomly stopped, so I had to do this instead. Um, I personally think that season 8 is better than season 7. Season 7 was basically almost mid. Just almost mid. It was almost mid. Like, well, no, it's almost mixed. Mid or mixed. Mid is like where. Uh, you guys know what the difference from mid and mixed is. Hopefully, I'll do. Anyways, this now. I think season 8 is better than season 7. Barely. Even though since season 7 it was more like a C plus, season 8 was more like a B, like minus minus. Like it was this close for being a C, but it just stuck the landing. So, but before we do that, we gotta do one more trip to nostalgic episodes before we go on to one of the best seasons in the whole entire show. Alright, the first episode we have for season 5 is Friend or Foe. I personally really like Friend or Foe because I remember first watching it and I really liked it and I forgot about it for years and then now I remembered it 2 years ago. But Friend or Foe is a really good episode to see the backstory of Mr. Krabs or Plankton. Even though Mr. Krabs was the one that actually broke the friendship, because when I'll get a little life lesson here, but some people when they're like born in a poor area and they see money like that they haven't really seen that much before, it's gonna get to their head really fast. And since they don't want to lose it, they get greedy because they don't want to lose the money and go back to the ways that they were born with. And I really like that with Mr. Krabs here because you can see that it changed him literally in an instant. And even though they used to say in the Tristan Krab training video that he was always like this, he was not always like this. He was he it the money just took over his head really. Well, not really. It kind of mostly took over his head in like season 4 to 8, as you know. So, pretty good episode. I mostly approve, even though I wish there did more with the ending. Next for season 5, we have Roller Cowards. I really like this episode because it shows how the series can still be good even if it's basically so-called downfall era. Even though I think this is still part of the golden era, even if it's a little bit. Even though I think season 4 is the last season that's actually like in the golden era, I think this is like season 5 is like a nice in between point from the golden era and the mid era. because they have both. It have both episodes, as you can see here. I think there's still a lot of good episodes in this season, but it's still pretty good. But anyways, I I don't really get though how this is really good though, but I do kind of get at the same time. So I would semi approve why this is a fan favorite. Season 6, we have Not Normal. I personally really like Not Normal because you this shows how when you're normal, you're really not normal in the people's eyes. Everyone has their weird dents and nubs that make the person them. If you're normal, then are you? Then I don't think you're even normal. No offense for anyone, but I really like this episode because SpongeBob actually. Do you know the reason why he changed to be normal, quote unquote? Because of Squidward. Because he wanted Squidward to think of him highly and be happy. So ship, 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 ship. Anyways, I mostly agree. No, I agree. Also, Squidward at the end changing him for SpongeBob, it really shows how ship, 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 ship. Pencils in the sand. Approved. Next video we have here is, episode. Gosh, I've been doing this for too long. Is Sandy's record. I personally really like Sandy's record because, sorry, that's my cat. Because because Sandy wasn't acting too mean to SpongeBob, but he wasn't the like completely nice. So it was like competitive nature in a good way. And I like SpongeBob actually cared for her. It is like, wait, Sandy's going a little too far. So I really like his enjoyment for the episode. For Sandy. I I've been doing this for too long. Next on our list for season 9, we have Patrick the Game. I really like this episode. Like really. This episode is Patrick make a game, and he wants everyone to play it. And it's not very, it feels like a mix of modern SpongeBob, so basically everything after season 9, and classic SpongeBob, everything before season 4. And well, season 4 and under. And I think that's a really good mix. So, wait, I just realized something. So, the first episode was classic. The second episode was the end of the classic era and the start of the mid era. In this video is the mid era and the start of the best era. Well, not the best era, the Renaissance era or the comeback era. Wow, I make these videos really well. Anyways, really good episode. Really like the comedy. Really like the characters. Really like Squidward. Really like everything. The only thing that's taking this down just a little bit is the pacing. Just a tiny bit. It's going just a little too fast. But that's just probably the modern SpongeBob thing because this is a bridge. Gary's toy. We gotta get the bad ones out of the way, or the mediocre ones before we get to the good ones. Oh, I completely dumped my formula of not telling you guys and keeping you guys on edge what episodes I'm doing after season 8. I've been doing this way too long. Um, I really like this episode. No, Gary's acting. All Gary episodes are getting a big fat 5. Alright, team. We have License to Milkshake. We gotta get this good one before we do the probably worst one of the season. Uh, this episode is an episode, really. Anyways, I kind of really like this episode of SpongeBob trying to get his milkshake license. after it expired 10,000 years ago. And I like the way that it was how they did it and the challenges that they have to do. And it was just a pretty good episode. And also, I'm sorry if you see a lot of 8 out of 10s. That's mostly like the base number for most episodes. Wow. A 4 out of 10 episode in this video is Squid Baby. At this point, let's take Google Gas and make it 10,000 times worse and only make it on Squidward. This is just SpongeBob babysitting Squidward. I swear. The only thing that's making this better is the visuals, the acting, and the ending. The rest, the other 6 points are just gone because of the middle of the episode. No, the middle from like the 2 minute mark into like the 10:30 mark. That part is just terrible. Gosh. This episode is basically almost flawless. Only 1 point of nudge is the problem. Only 1 point of nudge. And it's barely even a problem. Is the pacing. It's just a little bit too much, too fast. But that's it. The rest of the episode is flawless. SpongeBob, everyone's acting is flawless. That one kid that encouraged Patrick, the flawless. The tongue joke, flawless. How Patrick acts, flawless. I have barely anything to say about this episode because it's flawless. Really like Patrick being a hero without really causing trouble. And even at the end where he actually saves the day, I think, or was it SpongeBob? Who cares? He had a good intention, and instead of doing it just because, he actually did it because he wanted to. And I think he saw a 10 vision of a superhero. So it's not like he randomly decided to be like, hey, I want to be a superhero because I can if the plot demands it. He actually did it. It fits his character. He tries his best to save the day. And that's what I really like about Patrick Man. And most people say season 1A is terrible. Yes, it has some duds, but there's always good episodes like this. But now it's time for the final review of season 9, and I gotta get this done because this is the longest video ever that I ever made of reviewing a SpongeBob. Finally, an episode back at base, so basically S8 plus. I thought we would never get back. Gosh, this video took weeks, but we finally have a season that is based and is better than season 3. Put your pitchforks down. It's only by 0.5%. Thank you. Now, let's go on to the outro. Gosh, that this video got delayed probably a bunch of times. You guys probably didn't notice, but this video was supposed to come out in November, like mid-November, after I was. But then I realized, hey, I need more time to break. And then this video was supposed to come out early December. And then now, it's late December. And this video finally came out. I'm really sorry that it took so long, but this is the longest review I ever did for a SpongeBob video. The first one, I was only reviewing for like 11 minutes, so literally just like an episode, for 3 seasons. And I barely even reviewed, I was like 3 per season, I think. And then the rest of the 49-minute video was just me literally just putting episodes on the board that I probably haven't watched in years. Then the second episode only took 20 minutes. It's basically the same thing, but it was only 5. So doing 6 to 10 really thought it's gonna take a shorter amount of time. But I'm so happy this is finally done. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I hope you guys like my ranking. Most people probably hate my ranking. So if you guys hate my ranking, say what your ranking of the seasons would be so far. Right now, it's season 2, season 1, season 4, season 9, season 3, season 6, season 5, season 8, season 7. None of them have went to C, like C, yet. So hopefully nothing goes below C. If anything goes below C, Y'all know that it's gonna be some real trouble.
For this only
but I
being
don't think we're gonna see a season.
about
Heh,
22 minutes, this is a lot of
thank you guys for
content.
watching.
Basically, SpongeBob, SpongeBob, and everyone else in town is going on a race, a snow race, and Plankton is actually a the Plankton that's in the race is actually a robot, and Kara already know this, but Plankton used this opportunity to get the secret formula. It has a bunch of jokes with it, and and as everyone goes, they lose their stuff. Like Patrick loses his worm, goes on SpongeBob, and after a while, all the main characters that like main characters, recurring main characters, go on SpongeBob's sled, and then they crash. Then Squidward freezes. And stuff like that. It's just so much going on. It's a really good episode. I actually recommend to watch it. This is a season 8 episode, by the way. Accidents will happen. This is the season 8 premiere. Basically, Squidward was like, fell because he was taking a break and trying to sleep. He fell, and then when Mr. Krabs realized he fell, Mr. Krabs had to take care of him so he doesn't get called by, I think it was OSD or something. And I just watched the episode. I still don't even know. It basically Squidward's been faking the whole entire episode as SpongeBob and Patrick for 2 seconds tries to figure out what's up, and then he SpongeBob called the actual person, and now Squidward had to pay for whatever he did. So yeah, basically here, it's just a golf. This was gonna be an 8.9 episode, but they're like, so imagine 3/4 of the episode is good, and then just Patrick and SpongeBob competing against each other in homemade golf. Then 1/8 of the episode is them trying to get the thing, which is kind of boring, and then the last eighth is good. That boring part really put it down a lot, because it's just them trying to get the golf out of Squidward, which would have been good. It just, it seems like they're trying to make it worse instead of trying to make it better in a bad way instead of a good way, to me. So that's what I'm thinking.